Now. Welcome to the start of the Whitby Goth weekend. And we're here in the sunshine today. What a nightmare getting here though. I was on the coastliner and it broke down just as we got into Gothland. And I thought I wasn't going to get here. I had to call the fire engines and the exhaust could have caught fire. And luckily, some of my friends were on the coastliner. We got a taxi to get us here. So this is the first vlog of the weekend. As I said, we're in the sunshine. You might think, hang on a sec. It says the Whitby Goth weekend. Wasn't that last week? Well, last week that was actually the Gothic gathering. So I think it's the ice cream van. As I said, it's a very sunny day on the East Coast. So yeah, last week it was the Gothic gathering, and this week it's the Whitby Goth weekend. So you say, what's the difference? Why is it split into two? I know they did it a few years back. We had tomorrow's Ghost and Whitby Goth weekend, and they split it into two, and it never worked. So this is Friday. It's the first vlog of the week. And we'll have a look round and see if it's got any impact splitting it into two. I mean, will they come? Will they come for both weekends? Or will everybody choose? Or will they just come for the day? I honestly don't know. Will it be as busy as it normally is? Well, there's only one way to find out. Hey ho, let's go. Well, last week they had a lot of events in the Royal Hotel. They had Luxury Strangers, Nosferatu, and a Cure tribute band. I'll tell you a tale about the actual Cure. Robert Smith invited me backstage in 1979 at Leeds University. He was playing in the Cure and the Banshees at the time. And he said, would you like to come backstage? And I'll tell you what Susie Sue said to me, but I think I'll leave that till tomorrow. Instead, as I said, a lot of events take place at the Royal Hotel, but I would say the most famous event, the most famous band that's ever played here, September the 11th, 1976, the Sex Pistols. This is before they released Anarchy. They were 3 months off releasing that, and it was slightly before my time. I did see the Sex Pistols on the Anarchy tour. That was December 76. So I am going on accounts I've heard over the years about what it was like, and of course it's been made famous by Danny Boyle's Pistol series that was on Disney Plus, or Infamous I should say. So in that series you see them walking through some swivel doors like this, and of course Johnny famously says, "Hello Shitby." Oh, I can't get in. I'm stuck. I've already been stuck on a bus today, so yeah, I'm sure he really did say that. But anyway, this is the Royal Hotel where the Pistols played in 1976. So a lot. Oh, there's a horror quiz. Could be pretty good at that. As I said, I think they're getting set up for tonight. So a lot of people think it took place in the ballroom, which is here. I don't know if it's open or not. We'll have a look. Yeah, I'll just go in. So this is, and I've just done a bit of filming about when the Sex Pistols played in Whitby. Yeah, so this is the ballroom, and also in that series, Sex Pistols are showed like a ballroom similar to this, but from accounts of the gig, it wasn't actually in this ballroom, it was at the back. So we'll have a look at that. But it was 50p to get in. It said Disco and the Sex Pistols, a bit of a Spinal Tap moment, probably Disco in big letters, Sex Pistols in small letters, 50p to get in. And it was absolutely chucking it down by all accounts that night. So what occurred, from what I've heard, you can imagine 76, what will they have been dancing to? Dancing Queen, ABBA, Save All Your Kisses for Me, Brother of the Man, Mississippi, Pussycat, Tina Childs, I Love to Love, stuff like that. And then the Sex Pistols come on. Nobody'd heard of them, nobody's seen anything like it. So in my best Albert Steptoe voice, I wanna be anarchy. So they opened up with Anarchy in the UK, and it didn't go down too well. So after 20 minutes, and I said this is going from accounts I've heard, I mean if anybody does know anything, if anybody was at the gig or knows anything I don't know, as I said, it was before my time. I did see them at the Penthouse in Scarborough a year later. That was in 77 on the Spots tour, but obviously that was before my time. So if anybody does know any information about the Sex Pistols Whitby Royal Hotel gig, please get back to me. So I said this is the Royal Hotel, but I will show you where I believe they actually did play. As you can see, people are starting to turn up now. It's about lunchtime on the Friday, and it is absolutely glorious. What better place to be than here in Whitby? So this is the car park at back of the Royal Hotel. So from what I can gather from people who attended the gig, they used to have a bar that was built in at the back, which was called the White Horse, not to be confused with the White Horse and Griffin, which is in Church Street. And that's where they actually played. As I said, they were only on for about 20 minutes. The DJ pulled the plug on them because people started leaving. And so yeah, 50p to see the Sex Pistols. Of course, 3 months later, after the Bill Grundy show, well, the rest is history. I mean, I always ask myself, this is back at the Royal, as I said, it could have been anywhere around here, but there was something called the White Horse built on, which is no longer here, and I can't find any more information. So I always think, without the Sex Pistols, would there be any, well, there's certainly no punk, would there be any new romantic, would there be goth? Would there be actually a goth weekend if it wasn't for bands like the Sex Pistols? Well, hey, that's open to debate. Anyway, let's go and have a look at the markets. There's the Bram Stoker plaque. The author Dracula stayed here and gave him the inspiration to write the classic Dracula. Bram Stoker never really matched it, did he, after writing Dracula? I think he wrote the Leather White Worm, which is made into a bit of a cult film now from 1989, worth checking out. For any early birds turning up today, they've hit it right. It's glorious on the East Coast today. So the markets are in the leisure centre. Last week they're in the pavilion, so let's go and have a look in the leisure centre. Talking of Dracula, what would you say was the first definitive goth anthem? It must be Bela Lugosi's Dead by Bauhaus, surely. Back in the days, for us DJs, it was a must send. 8 minutes long. You could go and adjust your eyeliner, get a drink in, get the hairspray out, all the things you needed to do, and get back behind the decks. So yeah, what would you say is the first true goth anthem? I mean, A Forest by The Cure, yeah, that's an early one. And then there was a lot of proto-goth bands out there like Wasted Youth. So this is the leisure centre. Hello there. If you are into all things goth, there's a couple of good channels out there which is worth mentioning. Oh My Goth, Jennifer's channel, check that one out. And from Northern Ireland we have Random Goth Couple, another excellent channel, so they're both worth checking out. It is the bank holiday this weekend, so, and with the weather being like it is, I expect it to be rather busy tomorrow. My wife is after a few of these ghosts when she turns up tomorrow. Hiya there again. I've told her you're saving her one, so.
I'm gonna miss the looks we share.
This is the Rifle Club, some more markets. The first time I ever heard a band being called goth or gothic was Tony Wilson, manager of Joy Division. He described Joy Division as gothic, and that must have been about 1979 or 80. So, when did you first hear of anything being called goth? Hi Tracy.
This is what I mean. Be careful with
Well, this is true.
It's a bit like a maze in here these days, the Rifle Club. I can hear the Match Violets playing in the background. I put them on in 1983. They were sat in the pub opposite the Bumper Castle from the venue. And it was about 11, a lovely summer's evening. And I said to them, are you going to come and get on stage? Because we close at 1 o'clock. And they said, oh, we got your painting, Gaz, we got your painting. I said, never mind that, are you gonna get on stage? So when they did get on stage, they said, oh, the promoter's a effing W. But since then, I think we've made our differences up. So yeah, that was Snake Dance by Match Violets, which we often play at our goth night, which is called the Happy House.
No.
Well, a lot of alternative types are starting to turn up, which is good to see, and I hope all the ones on the coastliner managed to get here safely after we broke down in Gothland. So it'll be interesting this weekend to see just what sort of crowds do turn up. I know some said they're coming to both. Some are saying, well, we're off to the Gothic Gathering, or we're going to the, what did I say? Gothic Goblin? I can't say it now, can I? Gothic Gathering. And of the WHITBY GOTH weekend. I know some are doing both, some are doing them separate, some are just going for the day. I know there's other events on, so some of the steampunk types will be in Haworth or Port Merion this weekend. So I'll be out and about tomorrow for a walkabout, and we'll just see how busy it is. As I said, it is a bank holiday, so that's going to get the numbers up. And let's hope there's a lot of alternative types. There's quite a few events on this weekend, which is good to see. And till then, till tomorrow, as always, hey ho, let's go.